Invest into the freshman to really watch that shit. I'm not gonna watch that shit. Hold on 1 second. Matter of fact, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not even gonna say it right now. But yeah, bro, like that shit is. It's just trash. That shit. I'm not gonna watch it. I can't watch it, bro. I grew up on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like that was my shit. That and Martin. Like I grew. Those two things should never be recreated ever again. That should be the end all be all of that. It's not based loosely off Fresh Prince either, but it's like, yo, bro, like, come on, yo, I don't want to watch that shit. Carlton doing lines and shit, Ashley like girls and shit.
As fine as Hillary is, you gotta watch.
Nah, I refuse. Kara Parsons is
Hillary,
the same.
hey man, Hillary, the new Hillary fine man.
Hey, Kara Parsons.
I had to make sure she was of age too. I was like, I felt old and dirty until I found out she was like grown. And I was like, all right, cool. I can look at her like that. Yeah, she's nice.
No.
I mean, most people get overcasted with their age. I mean, they're younger than what they're supposed to be, basically. I mean, they're older than what they're supposed to be. The actors. A lot of times they're older than like they ain't really.
You gotta look up Coco Jones. She's
24, 25, something like that.
Coco Jones?
Mm-hmm.
If she fine, I'm gonna pull her right there. I'm gonna put her up right there.
Yeah, man.
And then first off, and what the fuck? I just started getting Zendaya. I just started realizing how fine Zendaya is. I just realized that. Once I realized she was 21, I was like, I can look at her now. Not a pubescent 16-year-old. So
that was kind of weird though that they cast her for that movie with John David Washington. It's like she looked young as hell with him, like.
But she acted her ass off in that movie though. She
did, but they could have went just a smidge younger with the guy if they were gonna do that.
Well, I think he needed that opportunity because he just needed to be able to show his range. Because he just got off doing whatever that movie. What's that Dream movie that he did or whatever?
That shit with Christopher Nolan. I can't think of the name of that. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, that nigga 20. She's 25. Excuse me. Zendaya's 25. But yeah,
25.
Zendaya's 25 years old. She is a Virgo. Yes. Black don't crack.
But Tom Holland doesn't look his age neither, and that's boo.
That's
a name now. So
they go together.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, boy.
They got a crib in London. He finna wife that up.
Yeah, he's not gonna let that go.
He finna wife that up, man.
Hey, you
blame him?
Spider-Man pulled root.
Hey, you know what London dudes do? You know, you saw what David Bowie did to Naomi Campbell. Not letting that go. I think they broke up at one point. He's like, I'm not letting that go. You crazy? For what? Sure.
Yeah, the whole this time around it's platinum. Like this shit on my wrist. And it's
all right, y'all.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't watch nothing that gets less than a 7 on IMDb. According to IMDb, that show's not very good. Fresh Prince. It's like a 6 out of 10. It's not very good.
Ask Scott Kenny's in the building.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes got it like at a 60. So and those are like two of the better sites. I mean, teach their own.
Talking about Euphoria at first, and I was gonna say, that's
not. Euphoria's fire. I'm about to say Euphoria's fire. I gotta watch the second season. I purposely didn't watch it so I can binge the second season. Euphoria's fire.
I watched the first 2 episodes, so I gotta watch 3 through. Did they do 8 this season or 9?
I think they did 9.
So I gotta watch the other 6.
What the fuck are these niggas wearing, bro? All right.
Boy.
Look, there's a lot of wrestling to get to, yo. It is a whole lot of fucking wrestling to get to. And I didn't even realize how much wrestling there was because I got a lot of fucked up shit to say. So I'm prefacing right now. Before I get this shit started or whatever. This might be the whole thing right now. I have a lot of fucked up shit to say about that weekend. I'm not even gonna lie.
You gonna bring up the glitches in the game too?
Yeah. You fucking right, I am. You fucking right. I got a lot of shit to say about that and a lot of other shit too. Oh, before I get started. Yo! That was a good one because I ain't eat yet. Welcome to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I am Joe Freeland, aka I'm the one tweeting. Aka yo. We got to do better. My God. Anyway, man, it's another episode. I don't even know what number this is or whatever. Make sure you name this episode, old man Logan. Name this episode. What the fuck was that? That's what you go name this episode because that's what we
like Nardo.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You gonna put that little snippet in it? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck is that? For real. Just like Grandson, I swear to God, bro. Because this whole rest of the week, I am blown by the bullshit.
It's on 10.
Bro, I'm blown by the bullshit this weekend. So I'm gonna hurry up and introduce y'all. Then I'm gonna go right into my spiel, and I ain't gonna hold nobody. I want to introduce the intelligent, the amazing Ascot, the man that is the redhead wrangler, the original KG.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That redhead wrangler threw me off. I'm just gonna start off by saying I'm gonna need the AEW commentary team to relax. You know, when a young lady loses weight, talking about she's leaner. Look, thick thighs save lives. KG said so.
All facts.
All facts. Going back to my brother, the highest in the room, the most knowledgeable in the room, my man Ill Will with the skill. Coach, you want to call him hot takes, whatever, call him whatever. Ill Will, say what's up, bro.
Your Highness is here.
That's all I need. That's all I need right there. Oh, you frozen. He frozen. Somebody, what's up, frozen? Okay, I'll move on.
It's been a week in wrestling, over the place, and you're gonna see when we really cover a lot of shit today. So, yeah.
My G, you were frozen for a little bit. I got nervous. I thought I lost you for a minute. I'm glad you're back though. We straight.
Sub-Zero's in the building.
Right.
That happened.
And the highest in the room is in the building at the same time. All right. The man, the
It's
myth.
cold outside.
That's true too. The man.
Sub-Zero in the building. We ain't talking about Mia Yim dressed up in Retribution.
God damn it.
Why would you bring up old bullshit?
How would you bring that up?
You don't care about this podcast. You only care about yourself. That's why you said it. You don't care about yourself. And also the great one, the wild one, the cool one, the one that's the most lyrical in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, Logan the Great. What's good, man?
I'll take wrestling. Acknowledge me.
Why would you say that? You can't say Why would you say that shit? Why is that what you would say above all things?
Hey, man, you know, just
he would say that because unfortunately Tay Conti beat him to the punch, getting that kiss on the lips from Jade.
Hey, man.
Thank you for setting me up properly, KG.
It was a great kiss, though.
That was a fire kiss. Not gonna lie about it. Let me preface this while I say this. AEW has done a lot of pay-per-views, and they've been bar none 8 out of 10, above 8 out of 10. One of those. Revolution was a 2 out of 10.
Oh shit!
Revolution wasn't good. Revolution wasn't fucking good. You can't. Besides the tag team match, you can't tell me that there was a good match in there. That was like, oh, that shit was not. No, those were spot monkeys. They were spotting everything. Even the fucking Bryan Danielson, John Moxley match, no. The cold part about that, which is spoilers by the way, the cold part about that was William Regal came out. The other cold part of AEW Revolution, they signed Swerve, which are not going to do shit with him because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with him, even though he's over as fuck and he's white hot. Then motherfucker Wardlow won the ring joint, which we all knew was going to fucking happen in the first place, whatever. The CM Punk MJF match was good, and it was awesome to see Punk come out to the old AFI stuff from Ring of Honor. That was awesome. But other than that, though, Jade Cargill's match was okay. It was all right. The Chris Statlander, what's her name?
Layla
Hirsch match, botchy. You can say what you want. It was botchamania in that bitch for a little bit before it really got started. The Sami Zayn and the triple threat match, whatever. Spots everywhere, whatever. That way they would.
Oh man, Sami Zayn.
I'm sorry, my bad. Sammy Guevara, whatever. The other fucking Sammy Guevara, whatever. That was spots all over the place. That shit, none of that shit was good. And then the whole thing. Listen, bro. He gotta go, bro. It's gotta be a new champion. And I'm an Adam Cole fan. I love Adam Cole, but that was a terrible way for him to lose in that manner in the first place, though. That was terrible.
Cowboy bullshit.
Bullshit. It's cowboy. That shit was trash, bro. I paid $50 for that shit. All my fucking money back. That shit was booty. That was trash. You could say what you want. You could say what you want about the rest of the pay-per-view, whatever. The tag match was actually good, but it was decent. It wasn't like
cowboy bullshit.
It was trash. It was bad. It was really fucking bad, bro. Like it was really, really fucking. It was bad. It was so bad. Like it was so bad, bro. Like I was watching this like, it's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get better. No, bro. Not one bit of it. You just acquired Ring of Honor. We saw none of that except for like throwbacks of Ring of Honor actual talent. You just got a whole bunch of talent signed on. You teased the Kenny Omega thing, which didn't bother me one bit. That's AEW. Like that's okay. That's fine. There's a story there. That's cool. And then when you tease the Kenny Omega thing, what do we think? Oh shit, there is going to be a tsunami wave of change that's about to happen. And you give us the same shit. Everybody the same champion. Nothing's different. You make Jade Cargill make out with Tay Conti, which I don't even understand. I don't even understand how she got there in the first place to accept the open challenge. I don't give it. And then is she playing the anti-villain or what is she doing? And then the Thunder Rosa match with fucking DMD. What are we doing?
It was shite.
There was booty. All that shit was trash. That's a 2 out of 10, bro. That's a 2 out of 10. Nothing was set up. Go back and get Cody. You need help. Go back and get him.
So Joe, let me ask. Now they've been on like a steamroll for like 2 years, right? Prior to this 2 out of 10 pay-per-view, as you put it, was there another pay-per-view that you just felt was this low?
No.
With the exception of that ending with the Kenny Omega John Moxley match.
You know, no. And honestly, let me preface this by saying I understand that their pay-per-views have been like high caliber. Like the ending of what pay-per-view was that? Was that Revolution that last time when Adam Cole came out and Daniel Bryan came out?
That was All Out.
That was All Out. Okay. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand, but they've been lit pay-per-view after pay-per-view. You know, aside from that match with the ring blowing up and then Eddie Kingston covering John Moxley when there was fireworks going off, which was weird as fuck. I guess that match was actually decent, but Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. I'm sorry, that was decent. But other than that, okay, it's 3 out of 10. Other than that, though, it was pretty fucking bad. It was. I challenge someone to be like, oh, what about that spot? No, you remember Regal, Swerve, the Kiss. That's it. There is nothing else. Those 3 things.
He said Swerve, Regal, and the Kiss. He's not talking about Mr. McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club.
Exactly. That's real shit. That's it. That's all the fuck you remember. We just lost. Oh, well, we're gonna back. That's all you remember. There is nothing else. There is nothing else.
I'll say there's only 2 matches that I'll say were good quality. The tag match and then Danielson and Moxley, but outside of Eddie Kingston winning, there was really nothing of note that happened at that pay-per-view to me because nothing else really mattered. There were no title changes. There was no, well, I guess they finally flipped Wardlow, so he turned on MJF. So I thought that was a good moment that was building up and building up and building up. So you finally got to see the payoff with that. I still wouldn't give it higher than probably a 5 or a 6, though.
I mean, the Wardlow thing we saw coming after he got slapped. Be like, he'll get your ass back somehow. That was stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why you have to be in there slapping. That was dumb. And then just not to beat a dead horse, but there's just such a lack of storytelling in a lot of these things. For example, Daniel Bryanson and Moxley. That's going to be hopefully a really good program for a long time to come. Because when you add those 3 with William Regal in the mix, it makes it better. That's going to be exciting. So I understand why that match was the way it was. It was hard hitting. They did everything they possibly could to make it dangerous. It was good. That was a great match. It was a very solid match. Other than that, though, No, the Cole and Page story lacked conviction. The fucking Cargill and Conti story lacked conviction. They're just missing key components of certain things. Like, when did we find out about Cargill and Conti?
I think Dynamite a few weeks ago.
Yeah, see, like that.
Or Rampage, one of the two.
That shit can't happen. She a champion. That shit can't happen. If you gonna put her with someone where it's gonna be like a weekend, you gotta build up a name. Tay Conti is not that name. And she doesn't have enough experience to kind of carry Jay Cargill too. To be honest with you, they both kind of great.
Well, I think they're kind of trying to build to it though, because speaks to after death in their division. Because you only have Kairi Shida, basically. That's the only other option they really have for Jay Cargill, and they're probably trying to build towards that because after Kairi Shida, there's really nowhere else for her to go except for being a double champion, and I don't think anybody really needs to see that. They're going to have to build more talent up because that's the thing. When she drops that championship, it's like if they wanted to go after the AEW Women's Championship, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Other than Kairi Shida, there's really no one else that's noteworthy for her to feud because they already did the Ruby Soho thing. I believe that was the tournament finals.
Yeah.
They could revisit that. But my whole thing was sticking with the women's division. If Thunder Rose is not going to be the person to take the title off Britt Baker, then who is? That's my one gripe with it. Super over with the crowd, hell of performances with whoever she gets a chance to really work with. So I'm just dumbfounded that they didn't do a title change at that point. It's basically the same thing. I don't need to see the same thing every with Britt Baker, for Rebel and Jamie Hayter interfere. It's been the same thing for the last 3 or 4 reviews. Now it's kind of getting old.
It's getting old. Like, no Mercedes Martinez to come out of nowhere just to kind of help out. After y'all just did that tag team match, there was the same old. Like, it's repetitive. Even Red Dragon came out and helped Adam Cole, and then you tell me Adam Page is that cold where he's still. Come on, bro. Come on, yo. What are we doing? You're not going to revisit that. You're not going to go back to that. You finna just grab some other wrestler until Kenny Omega comes back so you can have that rematch, which doesn't make any fucking sense. No point. Page is no longer over. You have to rebuild him. Now you have to rebuild him. At least make the match epic. At least make it one of those things where it's an epic fucking match. Y'all use the same spots that he did in NXT when he did with Ricochet. Those was the exact same spots. We've seen that before. We've seen the moonsault before with the super kick. Seen that. Seen the Panama Sunrise on the floor when he did John Gargano. Seen that. Those are the same things from NXT, bro. You're not telling us the story. Even though you gave us all that time, let that shit build the fuck back up, bro.
That's my problem. That's why I think, and maybe they didn't do that because they didn't want to do the title change. I don't know, but I thought they could have let Thunder Rose and Britt Baker main event because there's more of a backstory there.
Right.
Than there is with Hank. I mean, there's like, if you paid attention to Ring of Honor, obviously there's a backstory with Hangman and Adam Cole, but everybody that's watching it now isn't necessarily has the memory of what happened with Ring of Honor because I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I know some of their like major storylines from back in the day, but that's really like how many of their fans are following from Ring of Honor to AEW, and they really need to start thinking about something else. Because they shouldn't want to get pigeonholed in the way they're world champion, you won on last. No, let's actually build towards storylines that have some type of momentum and start putting them in the main event. Because otherwise, because we say this every week, as great as the wrestling is, most of their top tier storylines in terms of the storytelling, should I say, have former WWE guys.
Yep. And that's
going to be a problem pretty soon.
It's gonna fuck everything up for him.
If it isn't already.
Well, the reason I say it hasn't quite yet is because Adam Cole is younger than us. One reason why, I mean, granted, you don't want to put it all on one person's shoulders, But what I'm saying is, at least, he's going to be around for more than 5 years. Because in 5 years, Bryan Danielson will probably be completely part-time, if not retired. No Punk's probably be retired in 5 years. And those are two of your better talkers and storyline tellers. They have Jericho's going to be gone in 5 years. Another, 3 of your best talkers, 3 of your best storyline tellers going to be gone. So they'll still have MJF, obviously, more than likely. But like I said, we said this before, outside of MJF and Britt Baker, their homegrown talent does not have a lot of personality. And that's going to be a problem because Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is like arguably their only storyline with people. You can't even really call them quote unquote homegrown talent because Thunder Rosa, she made a name for herself in NWA.
Yeah.
And the issue at hand is that if you're building these storylines, you have to let them build. They can't be the climax at the pay-per-view. There should be another notch to that storyline. The reason why people were so compelled with Hangman Adam Page is because you let that actually build, and it kind of forced you to build when his son was to be born, because it forced him to be off TV, and it forced us to miss him. That's why it was, because he was white hot. They thought he couldn't win the big one. They created the dynamic that he was not going to be able to get to be the big one. And then all of a sudden, the next storyline, what happens? He wins the little ring again, then he faces Kenny Omega, and it goes on from there. Because you created the dynamic of that. You created that in that way. Like, you made it so it had to be more than 4 weeks. It had to be months at a time to build. That's why we were so excited when he won it. And that's why the match was so good. Now, when you have Adam Cole trying to pack everything that they've been through for the past 15 years in 4 weeks, it doesn't make sense. You have to create a dynamic where the story can actually build. You have to put sizzle on it. You don't just you don't just cook some food without seasoning it. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. It's not going to taste anything. It's not going to breed flavor. No one's going to remember the Adam Cole, Adam Page match. You know why? Because no one even remembers remotely what's going on at that point, because you only put in like bits and pieces of it. And your promo, and honestly, the promo work video-wise is lacking too, because WWE does a good job of condensing all their videos in the promo work where we actually understand what's going on. Don't give us old Ring of Honor footage and just say, oh yeah, they used to wrestle Ring of Honor together because we acquired that company. Just so you guys know. Come on,
but
bro.
see, that's where you get the pitfall of being they basically still a brand spanking new company, bro. Like, WWE has had over 40 years to get this thing right when it comes to vignettes and all that kind of stuff.
And then now it's forever.
The story, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know they're capable of doing that. Hell, look what they did with Brock and Roman. Nobody was clamoring for that. And you might still have some that aren't clamoring for it, but you'd be remiss if you said the storyline wasn't grabbing you at least, or wasn't entertaining at least. You know what you're going to get in the ring, but at least the storyline, you know what I'm saying, is leaps and bounds better than what we got in the past several times.
I'm going to be honest, this is when I'm about to sound like a grumpy old man to get off my line. Outside of AJ and Edge, I couldn't care less about WrestleMania. I'm going to be honest with you. It's all terrible. We got Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn when they could have easily took their time and built Ricochet and did Sami and Ricochet at WrestleMania. Oh, but no, they need to have this isn't in the mid 2000s. Who cares about Johnny Knoxville at this point? Like, I'm sorry, like Logan Paul is good enough. Like, I don't care for him, but I understand he has a following at least that's relevant right now. Who was Johnny at this point? Like, they got a new Jackass movie. Okay, that's cool. But once again, this isn't the MTV era anymore. Why do we need Johnny? This is the equivalent of David Arquette winning the WCW championship.
No, that's funny, but it's real shit. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
He's dead on the money.
I mean, why are we getting Ronda Rousey and Charlotte storyline wise didn't even make sense. Who's the only person that's ever pinned Ronda or made her tap? Becky. But I'm gonna go after Charlotte. Like, they had great chemistry, but at the same time, if we can get Roman and Cena for the first time at No Mercy 5 years ago, you telling me we have to wait to WrestleMania 39 to get Becky and Ronda? Because at that point, we don't know. You know what I mean? What if one of them decides, you know what, I want to add to the family? Nothing wrong with that, but at what point do we get it then?
Right.
Because at that point, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ronda, I'm not trying to put words in her mouth or anything like that. I just don't think, I don't know how many women are active wrestlers with multiple kids.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I care not about any of that. Like, I don't care about any of the things at WrestleMania. I just know Kevin Owens is facing Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's gonna be 5 minutes and a lot of beer. Edge and AJ will steal the show. That's gonna be the show. It's gonna be
the show.
Yep. And then after that, it's basically Roman and Brock, which we know the outcome of that because they're already showing us what that's gonna be without really showing us. The tag team championship is with RK Bro now for the Raw tag titles. I don't even know who the SmackDown tag. Oh, I'm sorry.
Usos.
The Usos, and they're gonna lose to the Viking Raiders because they're due. And then Intercontinental Championship is gonna be Johnny Knoxville and
Ricochet won this. I don't on Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
The fact that it's cool. It's just the fact that that's the only thing that saves that is the fact that it's not for the championship, I suppose. My whole thing is there's really no reason to care about any of these matches for me. Like,
you know what they're doing? They're pulling out of that old Pete Rose versus Kane bag. Remember when they used to have little silly stuff like that going on back in the day?
They did, but it's a travesty that Drew McIntyre went from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36 and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 37 to dumpster fire Baron Corbin.
Not feeling a happy.
That's how they reward arguably their most valuable male wrestler outside of Roman in the last 2 years. And then no fault of Roman, you could argue Drew's been the most valuable because Roman was gone for 5 or 6 months.
Right.
In 2020. So that's how they do him. They basically giving him a pre-show worthy match. Like, we don't get something new and fresh. We don't get Drew and Roman. We get Roman and Brock, who are going to be wrestling, let's be honest, probably at WrestleMania 45 at this point too. Like, let it go. Like, it's done. We've seen it. I don't need to see no part-timer have 4 feuds with somebody in a span of 7 years.
It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
That's the equivalent of a feud every year, is it not? That's like 2 full-time wrestlers having a feud every year. Didn't we see that with Cena and Orton got tired of it?
Yep. Literally, Hell in a Cell. I think that was Hell in a Cell or one of those things where they did each other's moves. Like, we were really sick of it.
That was I think Royal Rumble 2014 when the Wyatts came out and like got a babyface pop. That's how tired that the fans were.
Because at that point you're realizing that there are some things from Paul's creation who you should be putting in charge at this moment because he knows what he's doing. In terms of just giving it that good brand. The thing about this that kills me is that you have someone who knows how to give you good vignettes, good storytelling, and a good match. But you crucify him for losing to a battle that you were not equipped to win in the first place because you handcuffed him. You didn't let him do what he does best.
Oh, he gave him a little juice too, man. And he called him Pissy and Company.
Bro, but okay.
That was karma.
Let's be frank here.
Then he got too big for his britches.
Let's be frank here. Was Triple H ever a fast starter in the ring? Ever? Yes or no?
Was he ever for what?
A fast starter. Like, he start fast with the match. No, that's not his game, bro. That's not who he is. He's a builder, bro. He is a slow build type of guy. He is, I'm going to catch them in the end type of guy. That's how he does it every time because that's what he was raised on or whatever. He's in the same thing with NXT. It wasn't an instantaneous thing where all of a sudden NXT was fired. It was a slow build.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right when he said when he kind of set himself up with that bullshit. He's like, yeah, his that company. Yeah, he set himself up with that shit. Shouldn't say that shit.
And I mean, in the moment, he's feeling himself. He wasn't Paul Levesque in that moment. He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yep.
To be fair, the only reason he even said that though was to be funny. It wasn't. That's AEW getting stuff. And see, that's one problem I have. They beat stuff to a dead horse at times.
But the climate, the wrestling fan is so fickle now, where they held that against Triple H. At least to me.
Yeah.
But in the context of what he was saying, though, so the context of what he said it was, Billy Gunn said I can do what I want. Vince can't fire me. And then Triple H proceeded to say he could buy a piss can company just to fire you. And that was kind of like playing off what the IWC said, that how petty Vince is, basically.
Yeah, but
he said he'll buy that piss ant company just to fire you again. It was kind of the way Triple H trolls.
I get it.
No, but I'm saying like the time he was like, me and my friend Billy, we're gonna riot, we're gonna rant, we're gonna boycott, whatever. When you remember that promo, it was basically just to troll the IWC. Yeah. I never took it that way. AEW they get too big for their britches at times. They want to constantly acknowledge what Wrestling Observer, 6-star matches and all this stuff. It's like, bro, that's for the fans. Like, I don't need y'all patting y'all on the back on television talking about I was voted most charismatic. That's cool. Like, stop jock riding yourselves. You know what I mean?
And that's the cause of being like a brand new company. Like, every move Tony Khan has made has came from out of Triple H playbook. He's leaning heavily on everybody Triple H made a star over on the Black and Gold brand.
AEW, my problem with AEW is they're basically the equivalent of the Houston Rockets in their analytics. How they pat themselves on the back. That's my big problem. Like, we said they need better storylines. Honestly, I'll be real with you. And the old NXT is the one that made the most sense out of all the storyline-wise, wrestling-wise. You combine it, that probably was the best show. And unfortunately was losing the ratings war because they didn't really do that right. They shouldn't have gone head-to-head at AEW, or if they were going to, they should have sent some more talents. Like they're doing now, ironically. You send AJ Styles, you send Dolph Ziggler, and do things like that.
Yeah.
To help people, gain the casual viewers. What I'm saying is, though, is just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating at times. We're not gonna get no quote unquote perfect show. We don't need a perfect show, but both shows gotta do better. Because to me, if I'm fantasy looking, I'm flipping that whole WrestleMania card. A lot of those matches. First of all, Brock and Bobby would have been saved to WrestleMania. I wouldn't have did it at the Rumble, because if you need something that's new and exciting for Brock, that could have been it. I would have did Drew and Roman for the title. Because now, what's the top storyline for the men on Raw? That sucks. Like, oh, you know what? Y'all going after the storyline. That's what this match is for.
Everything's trash right now.
It's not for a world champ. Like, this is terrible. Like, you want to have two brands, but then one brand can't even compete for that title.
KO and Seth were worth the watch. And then whoever AJ was facing, because he was having great ass matches, was worth the watch. But now it's like literally Raw is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It's just hard to fucking watch right now. So
you know what though? This WrestleMania, if it fails, it's a direct result of all of the premier talent that they let go over the last quarter of last year, well, the last 2 quarters of last year. Kenny was just saying something about having fresh feuds, fresh, matches. We was looking forward to possibly Karrion Kross versus John Cena. Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre, maybe. That's not happening no more.
No.
Adam Cole could have been going against Ricochet and helping build him up on the main roster. You could have had him going against Sami Zayn. You could have had him going against Shinsuke. You could have had AJ versus You know, we got Keith Lee on the main roster, but they fucked it up. They could
Well,
have had Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman. Like, I don't know, or Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley. Like, there was so much talent let go that I can't speak for y'all, but for me personally, it was a lot of matches that, you know, I was sitting there kind of spitballing and kind of just saying, yo, this could be a great WrestleMania if these people were still there, if these pieces were still there. And now that they're not anymore, now we left with Johnny Knoxville making an appearance, which I don't mind him making an appearance, but I don't want to see a Johnny Knoxville match.
Ever.
You know, that doesn't deserve to be part of the main card of either night 1 or night 2. It better be on the pre-show.
I just really feel I feel very bad that the freaking Intercontinental Championship has been reduced to rubble, because Ricochet deserves that title, but he deserved to have it with like a storyline where there was a slow build, where there was something beautiful behind it. Now Ricochet has the title, and he'll probably lose it in 3 or 4 months, two or 3 months. Won't even have a long reign at all. So now that'll be a cup of coffee in the big time. Macho Man reference. Like, that's it. That's it. He'll only have it for a little short amount of time. Then on top of that, you got Finn Balor. Is Finn going to face the Archer of Infamy at WrestleMania 2? Is he going to see? That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we? You made him a heel. Okay, great.
And I didn't mind the heel turn. It was just, it's kind of weird how they did it. You know, once again, this was them fumbling. You know, I made fun of the mesh pants, you know, episodes ago, but Damian Priest, as he was in NXT, kind of like an updated Razor Ramon. I don't know if y'all looked at him that way, but just me, that's how I kind of looked at him. And I was just kind of like sitting there watching that match, and I'm like, this match kind of got Sean Razor vibes.
Yeah.
This could be an interesting feud if they do it the right way.
Yeah.
And it could be kind of hot shotty.
It could be nice. It would be nice if they did it the right way. If they actually do it the right way, like if it's actually one of those things where I wouldn't mind them going back and forth the way they did with Samoa Joe and Finn, because they've done it before. And then the Demon come out. That's cool. I just want them to make it make sense for me. That's all. Like, don't get me wrong. They lost a lot of talent. They gave it away to put themselves back in the green so they could sell their company. Awesome. They still got some good pieces that they can still utilize and still do things with. But they need to hurry up.
And see, this is the feedback off of what Tim said. When they go ahead and gut the roster and do things like that, now it's to the point where they can't really make any new stars in terms of even the mid-card, because once it's time for Finn to drop the championship, we know it's going to Austin Theory, but because they have no other option, because they gutted the roster and everybody else is gone. Like, we've seen Seth as U.S. champion. We've seen KO as a U.S. champion. There's really no point in putting them in that position. The only other option to have is maybe Chad Gable, but I don't know if they'd give him, unless you kind of use Otis as that enforcer role for him, I guess. But they don't really have many options for Finn to drop that championship once it's time, and where it's going to be someone that the crowd can get behind and be invested in. And same with SmackDown. They, both rosters are good. We want Ricochet to have a good run, but outside of Sami Zayn, he ain't got no dance partners.
Yeah.
Not on the heel side. So, I mean, I'm just looking at their roster in terms of, to split up Angel and Humberto, because I think Angel and Ricochet could cook. The problem is that'd be better on the old school NXT than it would on SmackDown. SmackDown might do an actual storyline, but or unless they call up Santos.
I don't get
it.
It
Might be after WrestleMania kind of thing.
Because they it would be another good feud for him. But they flipped him to being a babyface, LA Knight and Ricochet.
Yeah.
If they had called him up, they turned him, but I don't know, man. There's just a lot left to be desired. It's hard to watch, man.
What was the former cruiserweight championship? The cruiserweight championship name from New Japan? What's his name?
I'm a man that did the Back to the Future shit.
Yeah.
Kushida. I
Kushida.
don't even know what happened to him.
And there's I'll tell you what happened with him. He's with another New Japan star that wears jackets. Jacket. They're a tag team. Their name is Jacket Time.
I almost left this.
I'm not kidding. I'm very serious. I literally watched them put that on the screen.
Jacket Time.
I don't even know where you go from there because
What am I watching anymore? What wrestling Impact
You're
is
watching a kid play in his sandbox. That's what you're watching.
Impact is so good. And I have not invested the time in watching it the way that I should. And I owe Impact my apologies. New Japan costs $10, and I don't want to be disappointed. So I have not invested $10 in that yet. To rent Battle of Los Angeles for PWG is on the way, and I've already have it in my Rolodex. I'm going to watch that shit because that shit was fucking epic. The fuck is this shit? Why is it Tommaso Ciampa versus Dolph Ziggler versus Brian Breaker? What are we doing right now? You're not going to give it to Dolph. We know that already. You're not going to give back to Tommaso. You're not going to get back to him. You're not going to get back to him. You're not, because you're you. Because you're you. Because you're not even, and that's not even me saying anything in the most respectful way possible. That's just the honest to God truth. Because you're you, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I don't understand the premise of, I don't get Braun Breaker. I don't get any of it. I think
here's my thing with Braun Breaker, right? I don't mind pushing Braun Breaker. But, you know, they did the Brock Lesnar push where they hot shot him straight to the NXT, World Championship. They didn't have him go through the ranks. They didn't have him go to the North American title. They didn't have him go with the tag title. Then, finally get the NXT championship. But, whatever. We've seen this before. But at least with Brock, before Brock actually got the title, like Brock ran through some legends, to smash some people. And he just kind of proved when he did have a full-on wrestling match with people like the Kurt Angles and, Rob Van Dams or whatever. He showed he could go there too. Like he showed he was a full-on you knew why they were pushing Brock to the moon. They didn't do that with Braun Breaker. And then on top of that, you got everybody that, basically scoffed at 2.0 because it was like, yo, why are we getting a rendition of NXT when there was literally nothing wrong with NXT? I like the color scheme they gave NXT because it was like super duper murky and dark. Ominous. I guess she was going for the Fight Club look, whatever, but I didn't mind the new set design, but if we were still going to receive the level of matches that we were receiving, I wouldn't have been mad at that. But yeah, that's my thing with dudes, man. Like it's pieces there, like you said, that could be utilized in a fashion where, it's new and it's fresh. But like I like to say all the time, man, it's a kid playing in his sandbox, doing his free will, and that's it.
This is so stupid. Because now you got what? I don't get it, bro. You brought Dolph down there to compete for the NXT Championship, and then you got Tommaso Ciampa to do it or whatever. Like this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. None of it bodes well. None of it bodes well in any shape, fashion, or form. Braun Breaker is dressed like Scott Steiner Jr. Like it's not even like remotely close. Got volleyball knee pads on, bro. Like it's not, what I'm saying? His hands taped up. Bro, he looked like, this is like Vince. This is Vince in the 80s. weird ass names for people with all
Character names.
weird ass character names and shit that don't make sense. We got Gunther now being called Gunther, which doesn't make fucking sense. Got motherfuckers out here just I don't know, bro. I don't know anymore about life anymore with NXT. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's killing me. Like these matches used to be fucking exciting. It look like trash. I don't know.
But let's just I'm glad you did bring up Impact. Did you check out Sacrifice on Saturday? Did you get a chance to check the results at least?
I didn't check out none of the highlights. I know Josh Alexander is back. I'm excited about that because he whooped Move's ass. He fucked Move's up. But other than that though, no, I did not.
You got a new women's champion.
Josh Steels.
Yeah. Like you said, Josh Alexander came back. So that was cool. Let me go look at the rundown.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
Lady Frost defeated Giselle Shaw. Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus Honor No More. Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett. Rich Swann and Willie Mack won that. X Division Championship, Trey Miguel versus Jake something. Trey Miguel retained. Let's see. Eddie Edwards with Honor No More versus Rhino with Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Chris Sabin. Eddie Edwards, the company won. Then I just said that, Knockout World Tag Team Championships. Inspiration versus The Influence. And The Influence won.
Love those guys.
Let's see. Yeah. And then, like you said, let me see, was it Jonah versus Pico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jonah ended up winning that. Jonah, formerly known as, what was his name in
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
And it's not Pico, it's PCO.
PCO, okay.
Yeah, he crazy.
I gave a whole new name. Okay.
He's crazy. He's crazy. Like if you get a chance to watch him in those Ring of Honor days, that motherfucker was nuts. He's crazy. Yeah. Like literally putting his body all the way on the line.
Yeah.
Like not even.
He looked like a fake Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 3, but
yeah, but he's crazy. Like he got like one side like shaved and one side crazy, bro. I don't even know how to vote it well. Like to be honest with you.
Let's see what else. Jay White defeated Alex Shelley, and your girl Deonna Purrazzo retained her women's championships, AAA and ROH women's championships against Chelsea Green, who injured her wrist again. Same wrist again. So get well soon, Chelsea.
Sit out, Chelsea. You need to sit your butt down. That's the same wrist you injured millions of times.
Are you telling her that she should just become a valet or
no? Because Chelsea can wrestle. She can actually wrestle. She actually can wrestle. Like she's actually a really good wrestler.
That's in that wrist up there.
She ain't gonna be able to feel nothing in her wrist no more. Like she's not gonna be able to feel nothing in her wrist no more.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Violent by Design are the new Impact World Tag Team Champions. And Moose versus Heath. Moose retained.
Yeah, see what.
I'm sure our fearless Mr. Freeline was happy about that.
Yeah, of course I am. Because that actually made me very excited to know that. Because at this point, that means we get Josh Alexander versus Moose, which is actually going to be decent. That's actually going to be a really good match. Here we go. We got him back. Here we go. We're back on now.
We just had to carry it a little bit, And put a little bit of carrying in there.
Yeah, that's all right. Where's Killer Cross? When does he come back? Does anybody know?
I think he's going to be a part of that Control Your Narrative that the artist formerly known as Braun Strowman and EC3 are part in. They're spearheading that. I'm trying to think who else I saw that was recently announced for that. Control Your Narrative. Let me see it. It might be on.
It's like EC3. Braun Strowman, who's not Braun Strowman anymore, is Titan.
Out of chair.
And then there's a guy from Ring of Honor that's in there too. But I don't know his name. Yeah, he's in there too.
Yeah.
Real quick, Will, say something so I know that's working.
Yeah, see, I had some technical difficulties, but I fixed it. I guess I needed to do some updating, didn't know. But yeah, I've been sitting on the question all day with some of the things that have been happening in wrestling like recently. We've gone a whole nother week and we've got another Veer Mahan's coming video and no Veer Mahan. Made me think. It's been a lot of wrestlers that had like vignettes and video packages leading into their debuts and whatever came or did not come of them. Which was the worst?
Oh, that's easy. The motherfucker with the spit and foam at the mouth thing, with the big ass head, with the red trunks and black boots. I remember his name, but he was big as fuck and like spit when he talked and had like mental health issues. But he was racist. I don't remember his name. He was in NXT. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
NXT?
Yeah, because he was supposed to be on the main roster, and then he was hold on.
Oh, that dude with the red trunks.
Yeah, remember it was him. Killian Dane, Ricochet, Adam Cole, EC3.
Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's the worst one. We were supposed to get Lars. Remember? Lars is coming. And then he never fucking came. It was like, okay, sure.
He came, he just pre-came. Oh.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Whoa, sir. Jesus.
Slow down.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Bro, you know what? But remember, Lars Sullivan was supposed to be the next, like that was what they were banking on. He was strong as Brock Lesnar. He could do all those moves.
They thought he was supposed to be the monster, and he just was, He
was racist, and he got caught for that racist tweet. And then he was like, "Oh, I have mental health issues," and he didn't want to wrestle no more, so he was done.
That was it. Yeah.
And then he did gay porn. Y'all didn't know that?
No.
Oh, fuck. Y'all didn't know Lars Sullivan did gay porn? That's why Joe answer is so goddamn.
Look at Joe face.
Look at Joe face.
Oh, man.
Yo, homophobic WWE wrestler Lars Sullivan reported starting gay porn.
I told you. I would never steer you wrong.
What's his name? Big Lars?
Stop. Hey, bro. Stop, bro. Stop, bro.
All right, I quit.
Hey, that's what it was. WWE star who was fined $100,000 for making homophobic comments reportedly once starred in gay adult films. Colorado-born wrestler Lars Sullivan, who is called homophobia, sexism, has been linked to Randy Blue performer Mitch Bennett after two fans spotted similarities between the two. Isn't it ironic?
There it goes, man.
That is messed up. You literally used to do gay porn, and then you get fined for making homophobic comments. Just like
I wasn't gonna say Kenzo Suzuki, but Joe shit was on point.
Yo. Who?
Yeah. You remember Kenzo Suzuki?
No.
On SmackDown? I know. That's why that's a good answer.
Who the fuck is Kenzo Suzuki? This is funny. Hold on.
Look this shit up. Look up Kenzo Suzuki right now.
Well, while he's looking up Kenzo Suzuki, let's break down the backlash that WWE 2K22 is. Okay, so it looked like Joe found it very quickly. So we'll touch on that in a second.
This nigga was signing developmental. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. happened? They made a vignette and wouldn't let him out of the middle. And the nigga went back to New Japan. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, man.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's just funny to know that, like, who? Go ahead. No, go ahead. I got one more.
Go ahead. No. We can touch on that real quick.
Okay. Do you
Go
remember they made that vignette about that really big dude that was supposed to come out and Samoa Joe beat his ass, and then we never saw him again? You remember him? Really big, really huge Aussie dude, like a huge Aussie dude. And they made this whole thing about him coming, and then Samoa Joe came out and whooped his ass, and he won his title shot back from Shinsuke, I think it was at the time. Do you remember him? I don't remember him. Oh. Shit. It was some dude. But they literally like, he's coming. And he came out. And he came out and got beat. Like, he got beat the fuck up.
That was the one in that championship.
He did?
I'm like 5 minutes behind it.
Yes.
I know.
I'm 5 minutes behind.
I'm sorry, sir. I thought you know why you watched it. My apologies.
I'm watching it right now. I was literally I wasn't even 5 minutes behind. I was like a minute behind. But see, no, that's a prime example of why talent that isn't really being utilized on the main roster could come and make an impact. Why couldn't we have a Dolph Ziggler and a Bobby Roode on the Black and Gold brand, during that timeline where they weren't really doing shit with them? Like, they ain't doing nothing with Asuka right now. Why Asuka can't be down in NXT?
Asuka's injured.
Oh, she's injured?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know she was injured. But, just people that did not utilize, like, now they're using Ricochet, but when they weren't using him, why he couldn't be down there? Like,
They could have sent the Usos down at a few Undisputed Era.
Usos, right. During that timeline, like, who was the champ during that time? You wouldn't have mind seeing the Usos going against.
There's an Undisputed Era.
Yeah. What? That would have been crazy. Undisputed Era, or if they did New Day, for example. These are the things
I said New Day as well, because we got that little one-off at the Survivor Series.
So these are the things that could have. Not that I wanted AEW to get buried or anything, but at least it would have made it way more competitive and compelling if we're doing that and we're approaching them like their competition. That's why I said it was kind of karma, because we didn't approach this like they were a true threat. They were a threat. The fans are always talking about what's wrong with WWE, what they don't like about WWE. And I guess for whatever reason, WWE was on the high horse and they didn't think, hey, we were going to detract and go to another, show.
What bothers me about all that is like, for example, there's so many matchups we could have gotten that we never are going to be able to get now. We could have got AJ Styles versus Johnny Gargano. We could have got AJ Styles versus Tommaso Ciampa. We could have gotten fucking Seth Rollins versus any of those guys. We really could have got Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee down there. We could have got any one of those, and we never got the chance to like really be a part of those. We missed out on a lot of great fucking matches, and that's what kills me about this, because you had it in front of you.
They weren't consistent with using NXT in the Survivor Series format, which kind of took away from a lot of those match situations that were right there in front of us to be had. Like, we're seeing in AEW guys that were on the same brand for years having a match with each other for the first time on TV, and that's like weird when they had the opportunity for so long. Just they didn't move them around like they were supposed to. Dolph Ziggler being an NXT champion says a lot about what I was saying about Braun Breaker. But I also feel like it may be a sign with the way that they're trying to push him to try to find a way to like throw him on the main roster after WrestleMania. So don't be surprised.
Oh God, what? No. Why? We don't want them. Buy him some new knee pads then if he's gonna go on the main roster. He can't walk around with the high school volleyball knee pads anymore. We gotta stop that. Yeah.
I mean, fuck it. If y'all gonna put him on the main roster, and y'all doing what y'all doing already. Go ahead, let him dye his hair blonde, get the fucking chain crown, and start putting booty daddy on his damn trunks, and just do it that way. I don't want to see the colorful shit.
Did you say booty daddy?
No, booty nephew.
Oh, booty. I was like, what? Now, my nigga, what did you say?
Fucking booty nephew. You gotta put
Big Papa Braun. I mean, not Braun.
right.
Braun. Yeah, Braun Breaker shit. Yeah.
It just doesn't make any. It just doesn't make sense to have all these things in the one accord. And on top of that, we've been waiting for WWE 2K22 to come out for God knows how long, and it still got bugs and shit. It looks way better. It looks way better. It looks
great.
It looks great. But now the gameplay is hard to play, which they fixed buttons, which no one asked for. We asked for better visuals. And it's still shit.
I'm not mad at the controls though. It looked like their approach was trying to be more like a fighting game, than like the regular wrestling, hold X, tap X, you know what I mean, like that type of shit. It looks awesome though, but I that's why I kept telling everybody, like, it's a guy in the wrestling group thread I'm in with Will on Facebook, and he's just been giving us play-by-play the last couple of days on like reviews and people that's been playing it. I think it came out today officially. Copy.
I watched Chris Danger play it, and he complained about the controls. And it you know what, bro? My problem has never been that. My problem has never been the game itself, but like 2K20 was so fucking bad that then it was like, okay, bro, this is really fucking bad, bro. You gotta do better than this. It was like John Cena looked like somebody's stepfather throughout that whole game.
The comb over.
Yeah, Sasha Banks' hair was all fucked up. Like it would be moving while she'd be standing still and shit. Like it'd be like Wacky Waveable and Flavor 2-Man and shit.
He's talking about that Alicia Fox wig.
Yeah, like it was not the Alicia Fox, but come on.
Oh, please don't mention the goddamn Alicia
Oh,
Fox.
but Bianca's little braid in 2K20 was definitely like that inflatable dude. Like that shit was just moving. She would be standing there and the braid is just going.
It didn't be moving. Like man,
that's because she ain't put no relaxer in it.
There you go.
On the men's side, Roman's hair was always swishing. Like he didn't even have to be moving. It was just like, okay.
The Fiend mask was like claymation.
So was reality?
Yeah. That shit was trash. And the bad part about that was the little story mode story. It wasn't a bad story. It was cool, actually.
It was actually a good story. It was actually a good. We've been clamoring for a good story mode, and it was.
Yeah, like it was. The rest of that shit was trash. It was a chore. You know how to say like a labor of love, a chore, whatever.
Right.
Like it was literally a chore to get through the story mode part of it because it was just kind of like, oh shit. Like,
it's hard because it's hard to really get through that and really be able to have that and be able to watch it fully and be able to watch it because it's a hard thing to. You're like, yo.
I don't know, man. It sounds like a lot of smoke and mirrors to me.
Stop. Don't do it. Stop.
Yeah. Needless to say, it's been a lot of chatter. And a lot of chatter that WWE may break their partnership with 2K as a result of this. And it's looking like EA Sports may be their next.
Oh, God. Okay. No. Okay. Stop. No. Don't do that. No. EA Sports ain't made a decent game since Live 95. No. We're not doing that.
God damn.
Fight Night.
No, you're incorrect, sir, because what live was that? Was that 02?
That live was anything after 02.
No.
Live
before, 05 was the last good one.
What, the one before Dwayne Wade was
the one with Carmelo Anthony was the last
one.
That's 2005.
But is that Live 05? No.
Yeah. That's the last good one.
That Live 05.
Last good one.
Okay, all right. So that as that Live 05 better than 2K5.
Better no.
Exactly.
2K, but that's two. You can't. it's apples and oranges. No, wait.
2K been on a roll for a little minute, man. Like even when they did football real quick,
they had got their momentum by then.
Stop.
They engine and everything.
Live. They made live
05 live versus 2K5. That was a lot closer than because it fell off for whatever reason after that. I don't know.
Listen, Live 05 was simple. You either had a post game or you had somebody that could dunk. It was that simple. And it was the easy thing to do. You would dribble around a motherfucker and you would yam on a motherfucker. You couldn't shoot threes for shit. It was trash. Couldn't have the fucking ball. Pick and roll was shit.
About that era of basketball too, though. Like nobody was really shooting threes back then.
What do you mean no one was shooting threes?
You had your textbook like Reggie Miller's, like it, but it's nowhere near like today,
bro. But that game,
I was 7 for 12 with Latrell. What you mean?
I'm about to say.
Hey, Latrell used to shoot threes though.
No, you said 2005. No, that was when the Sun started at that 7.
Right, that was when, right. It was trash. That shit was trash. Shit was booty, bro.
Hey man, look, man.
Live 05. The last good game EA made was either Fight Night Round 2, motherfucking Def Jam, not the last one.
Not the last, not Icon. Not Icon.
Those are their only good games. Their only good games are those games.
And the NFL Street and the NBA Street.
Both NBA Street Volume 2. NFL Street was trash. I don't care what anyone says. It's trash. It's booty. NFL Street is booty. It's trash. Doesn't make sense. It's Blitz revisited. It's all it is Blitz revisited.
I mean, true enough. Just like NBA Street was kind of just NBA Jam. It was just updated version.
Yeah, but see, like NBA Street Volume 2 was a classic because it had the announcer, the music, and it had some shit. NBA Street Volume 2 had some shit. It had some heat on it. Yeah, it had some shit. But like that's Fight Night will always go down as one of the best box games of all time. There's no way about it of all time. And then the Def Jam ones were just classic. They were just good fighting games. It was good to see no shade. It was good to see our people have a good fucking fighting game. That's all it really was. You know what I'm saying? We had
2 in a row. That was great to see.
Right. And they were all high scoring games too. So we deserve those. But what WWE needs to do is go back to Ukes.
They can't go back to Ukes because Ukes is working with AEW.
Well, you better find a way. Because
that's why they have to go to.
They need THQ. Bad.
He said you was going to be a double agent.
Yeah, if I'm Ukes, I'm like highest bidder. Go.
Say that one more time, Will.
They need THQ bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They need to go back to those PS. They have to go back to those PS2 days, those PS3 days of when it was like SmackDown versus Raw. SmackDown, latest SmackDown, all those joints.
Those were Ukes.
THQ is part of those too.
Yeah, but they were like you got the developers and then you got the distributors. So THQ was like the distributor / producer. Ukes was like the main developer.
You're absolutely right. That's
why AEW went and snatched it. Hey, Tony Khan's a smart dude, man. He's basically taking pieces out of Vince's book, pages out of Vince's book. That wasn't Tony. Even the video game.
That wasn't Tony. That was Kenny Omega. Because Kenny Omega games. Tony asked him who he should go with. He said Ukes. Because they were going to create a New Japan game the same way. New Japan wasn't going. They didn't want anybody over America to really buy that game like that. They weren't really pushing that. They wanted people to actually watch the wrestling and not buy the fucking game. So when Kenny Omega got to AEW, which is probably one of the main reasons why he got here, for that fucking video game. It's gonna because he wants it to be like similar to the old 64 games. When it was like WCW
versus NWO, NWO versus the world, WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah, those are great games.
Yeah.
Those are great games. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be the goal for what's supposed to happen at that point or whatever. But
so this is my thing, right? Now I didn't really play the UFC games. Like I heard they're good. You know, I know their character models and all that stuff looks great. And like you said, you know, we've seen them do stuff, EA Sports that is, with boxing and other fighting games. At times they've been good. So I'm not going to take a crap on it completely. They need to just leave 2K because 2K isn't known for fighting games. You know what I'm saying? They tried their hand at a boxing game years ago. I think that was Mike Tyson something. They had licensed the boxing game with him, and that didn't go nowhere. But just they, you know what I'm saying? That was it. But it might just need to split at this point, man. Especially if you had 2 years basically to do this game, and it still came out buggy. Like, yeah, no, bro, I'm good.
They waited.
Yeah,
They waited.
It might be time.
They waited 2 years to put the game out, and they put so much visual into it. You're like, yeah, this shit gonna be lit. But then the gameplay is now trash, and now we don't know how good the story actually is gonna be now too, because that's gonna be a problem. And it's just, it's a real messed up concept of what they have going and how they have everything set up for it. Like, it's not going to be.
Sounds like to me, LED boards and the Thunderdome might be better than this game.
Nope.
I mean, you know, as a consumer, though, you just have to be careful with the stuff you're buying. Like, I got this PS5 and I got a handful of games, like literally. I'm still playing shit off PS4 because there hasn't been a lot of great games to come out. Because when something like that you're waiting on comes out, it's full of bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the Spider-Man that came out was full of bugs. You had to get an update as soon as you put it in the PS5.
The one with mouse?
Yeah. And that's got a great story.
Well, that's
It has bugs in it.
and this is off the rest of the subject in general. That's because there's no one really putting out games anymore, because now everybody's trying to have the most immersive technology. And the problem with that is that takes away from the story. For example, Horizon Zero Dawn was an amazing game for PS4. PS5, it's just as amazing because it's their product. So they focused it in and they really made it a good story all over again or whatever. They're not going to push any games now because they have to compete with games that already have like buy-ins. Like GTA 5 will still be GTA 5. It's 10 years running, still good. Call of Duty, 4 years running, still good. They want to move games into that mode where you can make money with one game instead of having to put out a new game every year. And the problem with that is every game shouldn't be built like that. Like, the reason why people appreciate the new Horizon Zero Dawn is because it goes back to that old game mentality where it's like, you played the first one, so you got to play the second one. Just like with Assassin's Creed or whatever. But now people are trying to create these in-game purchases, these buy-in purchases where let's make a game last as long as we possibly can. Like, not to sound crazy, EA saw the future in doing that by adding boxers a long time ago when they had Fight Night Round 2.
Yeah.
They figured it out. And then they did Fight Night Champion and they were adding boxers as they were doing it. The problem with that is that if you're WWE, do you want to do it that way where you keep gaining money that way and getting traction that way? Because if I'm them, I'm not doing that. I release too many wrestlers to do that.
And they've already announced a couple of DLCs where you're gonna get like Yokozuna. You're gonna get I think the NWO aren't ready playable. Like you have to buy them, if I'm not mistaken, if you didn't get the NW Life
for life edition. You gotta purchase it.
Yeah. Purchase it. So they're kind of headed that way too, like where you're gonna basically get that active roster, and then the legends you're probably gonna have to start buying.
I think, but that's and that's cool. That's okay. But like, okay, there's a YouTube channel I follow called Element Games. Element Games.
Follow them too.
Yeah, Element Games makes great storylines for wrestling. With like, they've made great storylines for wrestling. Is it with 2K or is it 19? It's 2K.
It's with 2K19. 19,
yeah. And they just keep making up different storylines. Like they have like an NWO Hollywood with John Cena.
Hollywood Cena is the greatest thing.
Cena, yeah. That shit, and then that like when I wasn't like when WWE started being shut, I was like, I'm just gonna watch Element Games. It's 5 minutes of a story of different characters. They got like Kurt Angle coming back.
Dude, did you see when Ric Flair got shot?
Yeah. Bro, I swear to God, if you just want like a new fresh take on wrestling with like a great story, like, cause it's an old school storyline spectrum. Every week we get a different storyline to add a storyline, bro. And that's why I'm not like, if I'm WWE or AEW, I'm reaching out to those guys, the ones that create off the brain. Chris Danger, Element Games, all those guys that really know how to like create, like who are immersed in wrestling and know storylines for gaming too. Pick their brain about certain shit. Who would you want to see pushed? How would you push this person? because they're the viewer. You don't have to really go with their opinion, but you can really like watch how they can create the dynamic of it all. Like you can see them create it in the actual game. Like I think Chris Danger made this whole thing where it was Chris Danger, and then he had a son, and then he had to face Undertaker's son because Undertaker. It was a whole like new metaverse of like characters or whatever, and it made sense. And it made sense because there was a build, there was a story, there was a script, there was a timeline, there were surprises, and even when something was dull, there were still little like Easter eggs in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what makes that like that's why Element Games is so exciting. He number one, Hollywood Cena was genius.
Yeah. Like I want y'all to find some time to really sit down and like binge that shit. Like Hollywood Cena, the development of it and everything that came of it, like that shit went in so many different directions. Like he's even pushing people that we really would want to see in certain positions. Like Bobby Roode was like Triple H Jr. dude. Like he had the long hair with the Glorious theme song, but it was mixed with the NWO theme.
Yeah.
He brought back the World Heavyweight Championship over Universal title. Like is deep. Like
and it's different strings. It's different strings and pieces to it. So it's not one of those like, and the video is not like more than like what, like 7 minutes, 8 minutes long or whatever.
7-8 minutes long on average.
Yeah, so you're not going in, but once you've watched one, an hour and a half will go past, you realize you watched all 12 just trying to catch up to it. Like that's how good the storyline is, bro. Like real shit, like real, for real. Like if you got nothing to do, I will go to Element Games, and I think he has playlists for them too. Just go down. Just go down the playlist, bro. It's fire. Like a lot of the shit that like the reason why I complain about storylines so much is because a casual person with editing equipment, a console, and gaming can create a whole metaverse of wrestlers and create a whole dynamic of NWOs and different things. And he can make them he can make this like this whole different world with just that gaming. So now you're talking about people who do it professionally who can't make me understand why we're getting Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens, even though it's going to be nice to see, and why we're getting Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. I don't understand that. Like, I don't get that. Like, the average person who sits on their couch, who watches wrestling, who knows video games, has created a whole world with the capabilities of being able to work with those pieces. And keep in mind, on 2K20, you can't make these guys speak. So he's writing their promos, and he's setting up their promos about what they're going to say, about what they're going to do, whatever. So he set that shit up for them in the first place. So all he's doing is playing the game out at this place. So think about it like this. You put a video out every Tuesday or Wednesday, right? You create a script, you create promos, it lasts 8 minutes long or whatever. Now it's just for those 8 minutes. Think about if you reach out to this guy and be like, what would you do with Ricochet if you have to do it? How would you do it? Give me a 6-month program and give it to me in the next 2 weeks. That changes the dynamic of everything. That changes everything.
He could do it.
Yeah, he could do that shit. KG could do that shit. Will could do that shit. I like that shit because it's not a hard thing to do if you just get someone who sits down and knows wrestling, knows professional wrestling, not somebody who watches it, knows fucking professional wrestling. Someone who can go back and be like, in the 90s, this happened, but what if we tweaked it and made the story a little different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just that's why it bothers me so much that these billionaires that have this money can't just simply reach out to like somebody who just is just good with wrestling. Like I love Cody and I love Paul. Love those guys. But they're gonna get old. You gotta get somebody else. You have to, bro.
I guess that's the pitfall and also the joy of the era of technology that we're in, because you're able to see just a regular person like yourself, like all us sitting here, that just happens to love professional wrestling and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna create my own storylines. And those storylines 9 times out of 10 end up being better than what you're getting on TV.
Yeah.
And it's because of that fact that You know, it's something they grew up with. They love. They actually care about it. Like, you know, remember that comedian that WWE legit hired last year, and she couldn't tell you what Bobby Lashley's real name, like his name was. She said Bobby something, and she was like, "I can't believe they're gonna pay me all this money. I don't know a thing about wrestling."
Yeah,
I believe that happens a lot more often than we realize. You know, they're hiring people that are like ex-soap opera writers and people that don't have any kind of connection to the product. And that's doing the company a disservice. That's doing the fans a disservice. Everything was all around, you know, capitalism at the end of it. It isn't about wrestling anymore.
Very well.
That's because the audience that they're trying to reach, sad to say it, they're trying to reconnect with the mainstream audience on the same wavelength of the time period of, you know, the overly mentioned Attitude Era. But what they're doing is they're taking away from wrestling and incorporating too many entertainment elements. And by doing that, they're trying to use entertainers to reach that audience. But here's the thing, there are wrestling fans that are used to a certain story, a certain storyline, a certain story arc. And we know what we want. And for years, and I mean years, I can't put a number on it, but it's really been a little while where everything that we outright said we wanted to ask for has either been delayed or just downright hasn't happened. To the point we can barely enjoy it. Like, wrestling never sucked so bad, like it does now. Collectively, like if we were to think about, even from the indies to the main everything, I don't want to say the pandemic killed wrestling, but even up to the point we got here, it just kind of, like, everything that we've been seeing is so fucking forced and predictable.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel remiss to say that even like after a while, what felt good about wrestling was when you had a lot of options for wrestling, and you could get like different pieces everywhere. But now it's almost like some of the stuff you want to get the pieces from, they're underwhelming. Like Revolution was underwhelming. Wrestlemania looks like it's going to be underwhelming. And I'll be honest, I'm not excited to watch Dynamite tomorrow. There's nothing on there for Dynamite for me that's really going to be anything that's worth watching. I'm in a space now where, honestly, when it comes down to it with wrestling and everything in general, like, I can basically now see what's going to happen, because I would say between us, there's like 20, we've probably been watching wrestling all collectively, individually, 20 years plus. 20 years plus in this room. Like each person, probably 20 years plus. I'd be remiss to say that. Like, and so like now there's no fooling us about something that would happen. But when it does happen and when we get surprised, it's like, okay, good. It's a fresh start. Do some more. And I'm right along with the fickle wrestling fans. I know I am. I know for a fact I am. Because I lived in an era where you would switch watching Monday Night Raw to Monday Nitro, and they were both good. They were both fucking good. And you had to pick a side, and you really couldn't fucking pick. Shit, the matches when Goldberg was white hot, when Eddie Guerrero was kicking ass every week, when Chris Jericho was going up against Dean Malenko. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there was building heat with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart was always kicking ass in the ring when he had a ring. Stone Cold and Vince McMahon were going back and forth. And The Rock, someone who looked like me, was a prevalent star in there. Come on, bro. Like, that shit was epic. So now you're telling me right now, with all the talent that you got, with some of the guys that you picked up, that you can't give me a decent storyline, an okay storyline? I don't need the whole Attitude Era with boobs thing. It'd be nice. I'm not gonna lie about that. But still, bro, Give me something.
NXT Women's Division.
Hey, did anybody else think that the boobs were coming back when they did Raw Underground?
I did think it was coming back when they did Raw. I really did. I got excited.
AG, question for you, buddy.
What's up, man?
On the Hot Take Wrestling page this week, first time we posted match of the week, and you nominated the Red Dragon, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Young Bucks triple threat match that took place at Revolution. So tell us and tell the people that's listening, man, why was that your pick in the, you know what I'm saying, the debut of that particular type of post?
Because everything else was shit.
Oh, there you have
Like
it.
KG, but okay.
But
Fair enough.
I picked it because I enjoyed the false finishes. That was one. And then a lot of the match was just executed really well as well. From a standpoint that, obviously we saw everybody getting involved. That was what I really liked. So nobody really seemed like the weak link in the match. Luchasaurus looked strong, but at the same time he also looked vulnerable. I think Nick Jackson hit him with that springboard Canadian Destroyer. I've said this before. I don't like to see people at least he didn't kick out of it. So he was down for a little bit. So he didn't actually go for a cover. That's one of those moves where it's just like, damn, like precision that it takes to pull that off. We saw the Doomsday Device from Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. So that's always a great homage to see that pulled out for LOD. So I always have pop for that. Also, just the fact that we had the Young Bucks and Red Dragon, look like they were in cohesion, that they were going to take out, Jurassic Express, but then eventually they start going for covers. So, you start getting a storyline within the triple threat. So that's good that they're doing a slow build for that. So that was my pick.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give the audience right now spoilers. If you're gonna go back and watch, I'll give you my login so you go back and watch it. I'm not gonna let you pay for it. I'm gonna just take the L myself. There you go. I'm not gonna put nobody else through that. That was so underwhelming. I said there was like,
I mean, you had to come down from the high eventually, my friend. I'm sorry it happened to you on Sunday.
no, you didn't give it to me on Dynamite. Give me my low on Rampage. Do not make me pay $50 and then give me one of your worst performances for a match. You bought Ring of Honor. You could have had Jonathan Gresham come out and whoop Hangman Page's ass. You could have had them interrupt every ass. You know what you could have had? Ring of Honor Invasion. Ba, ba, ba. Having an impact. Just do it everywhere. Simultaneously on both of them, on both pay-per-views. Anything. You couldn't have Kenny Omega come back, but we know he's not coming back. Kenny Omega good. I'm gonna rest. I've been kicking ass all year. I'm not gonna do the rest of this shit. You could have given me so much. I did not need Jade Cargill to kiss that woman. It was nice. Not gonna lie about it. It's okay. It's all right. But I didn't need that.
Definition of chocolate payday.
Yes, a chocolate payday. Yes. This is so much shit for this fucking promo. I don't even know how the fuck we're gonna fit it into 1 minute.
Or was it outrageous?
We gonna make it work because boy, what?
Okay, all right. And then I did need all the interference for DMD and Thunder Rosa. You had one of the if not one of the best matches of all time without any interference. Why are you doing that again? Doesn't make sense. Because because I guarantee you on Dynamite, I better see Thunder Rosa come out there to the ring, ask for another rematch, and that better happen at the next pay-per-view, and you better be building it that way. You better be getting us back in that story. Because I swear to God.
Yeah, they announced that she's supposed to face Layla Hirsch for #1 contender match.
I am not.
So, well, I'm assuming that even if Thunder loses, they're probably gonna go back to that double or nothing. Like I said, I guess they're kind of backed into a corner because they don't have a whole lot of depth in the women's division, so they kind of have to.
Yeah, that's true.
They really only have. Well, she took the title off Sheeta, so they're not gonna go back to that. Plus, she's still feuding with Serenity right now. The problem was when they're only doing 4 pay-per-views a year, they have to do some matches on Dynamite because Ruby and Britt, at least the promo exchange they had alone, that could have been on pay-per-view, built to a pay-per-view match, but they already did that. And it's not they can't revisit it, but I don't know if they are. Because I'll be honest with you, grass ain't always greener.
Nope.
And it's not that she was saying that she wanted out necessarily, because they did release her, and I don't remember her throwing no fits. So actually, I'll rephrase that the grass isn't always greener. I'll say that for who could I say that for? Maybe Adam Cole. I mean, granted, because my thing is this: I don't mind seeing people lose before they go after the title, but to me, at least lose a championship before they go after the title. You know, like they lost the TNT championship and then went to the world championship. At least that made sense. You know, oh, but you know what? It was lights out, so don't count against the record. What? Like, it can make sense to me. But yeah, the women just don't have a lot of depth. Because they already used Chris Statlander at All Out. That was a good match against Britt Baker, but they really don't. They don't have a lot. Maybe that's why they went with Thunder already.
I agree with you, and I totally agree with you. So that's not to even like put anything under the bus. My thing is this: Serena Deeb is your best heel right now. She's one of your best heels. Serena Deeb is kicking ass in that 5-minute challenge. She is whooping ass. You need to make that. You need to up that one a bit more and try to get her in the ring with some of these girls so she can get them performing. They need help. Kushida, the whole Kushida Serena Deeb thing. Yeah, it's good, but you know, come on. It's climax some time ago. It's been climax. Let's move on from that. Move right along.
You said climax.
Moved on.
Words in front of the match. Let's move forward.
Yeah, let's move forward. For real. Because if you're doing Kushida D, I'm sorry, Kushida D. If you're doing Kushida, anybody, Kushida versus
you call it Kushida, who call Rashida.
Kushida D.
Rashida. I listen. If you're doing the young lady that was once champion,
you have made 3 wrestlers into one. You combine.
Your creator wrestler game is strong.
I know, bro.
Kushida, Hikaru Shida, and Serena Deeb. Hikaru Deeb. Where you at? Kushida Deeb. Sorry.
Kushida Deeb.
We still love you though, bro.
Listen, I don't know. The young lady that she is on the hub. She's on the hub. She's on the hub, my guy. TikTok has our TikTok be blazing with shit like that. It be blazing with shit like that. They have a whole thing about wrestlers that were on the hub, and she's one of them. You're welcome.
TikTok, and he ain't talking Killer Cross, baby.
No, I strongly suggest y'all get that damn. Y'all give it shit. Got it because it's attached to the. It's attached to our Twitter, so you can just log in from your phone. If you go to Twitter and log in and TikTok from there, it'll go right to the next page after that. All right. With that being said, what I want to say was that lady, Jade Cargill, boom, epic program. Long as possible, add some triple threats in there with like Layla Hirsch and some other people, and keep adding that lady and let them build from there. Okay, moving on. I think that's what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna call it, bro. Because we'll be up here all night talking about more wrestling.
Boy, that week we'll be up in this month till like midnight. You know, we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. I think we covered a lot of ground. Though.
We did. We covered a lot of ground.
We need some room for next week.
Yeah. So that next week will be a little couple more weeks before WrestleMania. We'll probably see a little bit more from Rampage, things of that nature.
Yeah, two weeks before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
That
That's why I asked y'all, what are we doing for the food? Hey.
You gonna do pizza?
We're gonna do pizza? Like pizza, some shit?
Wanna do pizza?
Yeah, we might go live.
Pizza and wings, you know?
Was it Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday?
More like we had the
No
barbecue
bread,
last time, right?
no water.
Just
So
meat.
I'm like, so if Will come this time, I'm like, I know Will know about the tacos and shit. So I'm like, he probably can find like the ill taco place.
Hell yeah.
Like a nice little taco platter. You know what I'm saying?
I know a spot in Midlothian that got them for like a pan for like $30, boy. Like seriously.
Look at the devil's grin on KG face. The tacos and whiskey, my friend. Taco whiskey.
I'm
I was thinking about different. I was different about thinking different
What?
tacos.
What day?
What?
What day?
Huh?
You gotta relax.
Whoa! You gotta relax about which type of taco after we had to get out that white woman.
Get out that ginger and focus, KG.
Focus.
You are the problem right now.
Focus.
It's definitely not Candidate Dry.
Bye.
Damn it, KG.
All right, follow us on TikTok. Follow us on IG. Oh God, Logan, take us out.
All right, y'all. We the ones, and we want to
Want it moist.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. The Hot Take Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by the NMG Network, a division of NMG Enterprises, LLC.